You're watching The Crossover.
Good. All right, so for those who don't know, our guest tonight is the president of PSA, Mr. Ryan Hoge, and we're going to have him with us for about 15 minutes. And there's a lot of stuff, a lot of exciting stuff that PSA is doing in 2023, and Ryan's here to answer some questions and to talk about it. So let me kick this first and foremost to Josh to set us off with a question for Ryan. Go ahead, Josh.
Well, congrats on the new position, Ryan. I think it's probably the first time I've chatted with you in person about that, so congrats. Question is, why don't you just run through the letter you sent out and the email and just kind of go through what changes are coming on the grading front?
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So we emailed out I guess we called it a president's letter earlier this week. I did a little bit of framing on some changes and investments and focus areas for us as a business for next year, or this year, I guess. One of those is just kind of investing in the core services, core capabilities of our grading operations, making it easier for customers to get started using our services was one of the goals too, and that actually leads into some of the pricing changes. So I'll talk about that in a second. And then we really want to focus on growing our customer base. And so we're going to do that through a couple ways. One is kind of reactivating customers that maybe haven't been grading with us the last couple of years, especially during the lockdown and having more of the lower price grading tiers unavailable, as well as reaching new customers internationally. And so we're making a big push to grow globally, including launching our first grading operations outside of the US in Japan later this year. And so those are some of the highlights that I talked about in the letter. And then as it relates to grading changes, we rolled out, we gave a preview of these right before Christmas, and then we made them effective on Wednesday. And we rolled out some new pricing tiers, specifically on the entry-level services. And I think that's where folks saw the biggest changes, and there was honestly a lot of discussion and maybe some questioning, and I think I can probably try to clarify some of that on the call with you guys today. So we standardized declared value for the 3 entry-level tiers. So we've got a normal value tier that previously was $30, and it was a Collectors Club only access. We've now made that available to all customers, and we lowered the price by $5. And then we added a bulk option with a higher declared value limit. Previously, that was $199 for your item. We increased that to $499 to match the normal value. We increased the price of that service by $1. So it previously was $18. It went up to $19. And then we added a new service that we've never done before at PSA that we're calling Value Plus, which has the same $499 declared value max, but it's $15 more per card. So it's $40. But what that essentially does is allows you to move that order to the front of the line, ahead of the bulk, ahead of the value. And it's the first time we've decoupled declared value from turnaround times. And so we'll see how that's received in the market. And then the other thing that we did is we lowered pricing on regular pretty significantly. We took it down 25% from $100 to $75. And we added a dual service option for bulk now for an auto and card grading at $25 a card. And so those were the big highlights. And then on the non-card world, we re-enabled the value price tiers for tickets and packs, which is also really exciting. So there's a $30 option there, up to $499 declared value.
Wow. Okay. And if I may, Ryan, which one of these levels is the big home run with PSA's customers? Does one of them jump out as like, everybody's smashing this one and going with this one?
Well, I think, to me, honestly, getting bulk at that higher declared value limit feels like a big win for customers. That's something that I wanted to do. There was a lot of kind of myths going on out there about upcharges from PSA, and I can kind of give my commentary on that. When we had the value at $199, people would always say, well, yeah, but they're going to get you with the upcharges. So one of the goals here that we tried to do was just neutralize that and say, look, regardless of where it's at, you've got this $500 max limit for these cards. Feel free to submit it. It's easy decision making. It's, do I have 1, 2, or 3? Great, I can just pay for the normal value. Do I have 20 or more? Cool, I get a bulk discount. I save $6 a card if I go that way. Do I need it back super fast? Okay, I'll pay a little extra, and then I can do the value plus. That was the rationale that we were going for with this. And so I think that will hopefully make it a lot easier for customers to decide how to get started. Previously, the lowest price tier to grade with PSA was $50 at the economy level. And so now it's $25. So we've really cut that in half. So for first-time submitters, it's a lower cost of entry, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, me too. I've got a stack of card saver ones that need to go in, and I was waiting for that level, and now we have it. Okay, Christina.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to say, I was going to add one more thing too. We will continue to run specials. So we had two $15 specials that expired at the end of December. I think people thought $15 was the new normal rate for bulk. It was a special. There was a modern one. There's a TCG one. They both expired on the 31st. We will run those throughout 2023. We do not have any specials running right now, but they will be around.
Okay, good. Glad to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, Christina, fire away. Do you have a question for Ryan?
I do, yeah. So Ryan, I just want to congratulate the entire PSA team for getting caught up with the backlog. I know that the whole company was crushing it for the past 2 years, trying to get that those 11 million graded and shipped out. So congrats to your entire team and everyone that works at PSA for that. The hobby is thankful. So in your president's letter, you mentioned that you wanted to add more transparency to PSA, how it works, get more of you and the team out there, as well as how PSA is going to continue to grow, which you touched on a little bit. So how do you envision this happening? Because PSA has always kind of been like the man behind the curtain, kind of.
Yeah.
So how are you going to change this up?
Yeah, me being on here is one example. I want to do more videos of showing how the operations work where we can. There's obviously some proprietary things that we don't want to reveal, but I definitely like the notion of bringing people behind the curtain a little bit. For all of you have seen the operations there. It's really impressive seeing the scale and some of the investment that we're making. There's some really cool things we're doing with automation and imaging that I think are powerful to show off, and how we're bringing these new technology solutions at scale to the hobby. And so I've been working with the marketing team, and we have a series. I think there's 30 plus videos that we're interested in making throughout the year that we're gonna develop, that hopefully give more of a behind the scenes look at how things work, bring people more into the process, and remove, I guess, a little bit of the opaqueness around what PSA is and how the whole grading thing works.
Yeah, I have one question,
Nice.
if you'll allow me, Hoge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hoge.
Yep.
Hoge, not Hoge. Yeah. Anyway, so, very confusing. We'll just call you Ryan to make it easy. So you mentioned that you're opening PSA is opening the first international grading operation in Japan later this year. I know our international collector friends are very excited about this. What scale are you guys looking to open it at? Are you going to be just serving Japan, or are we serving all of Asia? What's the blueprint look like right now?
Yeah. So it's going to start just by serving customers in Japan. There's a lot of kind of import laws and things that we have to work through before we can enable servicing from other countries. That's definitely on our roadmap. We would love it to be kind of a hub for the greater Asia area. But for now, it's going to serve customers in Japan, where we've typically had those orders shipped to California. But we're expecting to have that operation up and running in July. I'm actually planning my first trip out there around that time to celebrate kind of the grand opening of having our new operation up and running in the new facility. And then continuing to scale up the output coming from there throughout the end of the year and into Q1 of 24.
Okay, I have a 2B to
Yes.
add on to that. Since you're going to Japan, will you be doing the Mario Kart tour through Tokyo?
Hold on, what is the Mario Kart tour? Tell me.
Yeah, Ryan, you're going to have to look into this. This is very important, and everyone needs to know if you're going to do this. There's literally a tour where you can get on a go-kart and dress up as your favorite Mario Kart character, and they will tour you through the streets of Tokyo in your go-kart while you guys all play Mario Kart?
That would be fun. I'm gonna have to look it up. I would probably dress up as Luigi if I did that.
Okay.
And then this will be my second trip to Japan. I have not been to Japan since 2008, so it's been quite a while since I've been over there. And this did not exist when I was there last, but I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, I'm done.
I don't know why
I see
she knows
Josh's
that.
comments.
Why do you know that?
I see you, Josh.
Okay. Well, we probably can fire off one more question apiece before we let Ryan go. So, Josh, let me pass it to you, and then I got a final question to round us out.
All right. I'm leading with a comment from a PSA customer, long time PSA customer. Please do not add a 9.5, Ryan. I know
Okay.
you might be tempted by that. We love the 10s, and we love to know that it's either a 9 or a 10. Do not add the 9.5. All right. My question is about the transparency. Have you ever thought about this as a feature idea of giving like notes as to why a card got a certain grade, maybe charging extra? Has that ever come across your mind? What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I've talked to our director of grading about that before, and when people will do like a review or a crossover, oftentimes they'll get a sticky note or something that goes on top of it that might point to a corner or mention surface or whatever. And so there's been that notion of getting a little more insight into why something maybe didn't cross or bump on a review that we do and that we've done historically. If we were going to roll out something like this across the board, I think there's a lot of concerns around the slowdown in how the team can operate, because the volume, I mean, this is what kind of got us in trouble before with the massive backlog, is the team just got overwhelmed with the demand. And we've spent the last 18 months really dialing how the machine operates, and we're really efficient as far as what comes in the building. We've got like 8 separate steps in the grading operation, and they're all running really smooth. And so if we added more requirements where there's documentation or more input that needs to happen there, I think there's just a concern that could end up slowing things down in the overall operation, and we'd need to accommodate that. I'm not opposed to it in the future, or especially at certain service levels, and I think it would be something that we would entertain. But I think for the mass volume of things, it's probably not feasible for us to roll out.
Yeah, you have to roll out probably to start with. You have to pay extra for it, and you try to deter people that way, or at least to scale.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, we've done this before with reviews and crossovers, where I think that's where a lot of questions come in. Why didn't this cross? Why didn't this bump? And you get an explanation there.
All right, Chris.
Nice.
Ask your first question.
All right. To wrap this thing up, Ryan, as a collector, what card are you looking forward to picking up the most in 2023?
Oh gosh. I get asked this a lot, and I get so busy with just my job lately that I haven't even had time to have fun with my own collecting. What I've had fun with the last month, I like prospecting with Bowman, so I've ripped a ton of new Bowman products, both Bowman Chrome and Draft, and that's always fun. And learning about all these like 17 and 18-year-old prospects that are coming up, so that's cool. The two things that I'm still working on that I'm adding, maybe 2 or 3 cards to a year are my Hank Aaron and Willie Mays basic tops runs. I think I've got the Willie Mays one is like 65% complete, and I think Hank Aaron's only about 30%. So I'd love to pick up 1 or 2. I'm trying to do PSA 8 or higher on those, and so a nice example of those guys. I've kind of got a gap with Willie Mays from 57 to 63. So there's a whole bunch of stuff I can fill in there. And then Hank Aaron, I've got a whole bunch. I've got the rookie, but everything else in the 50s I have none of. So there's a whole bunch of stuff I need to add.
Nice. Okay, you've got options.
I got options. I'm always on the hunt.
All right, Ryan, look, thank you for joining us. Do you have anything that you want to conclude with, or maybe anything we didn't touch on before we let you go?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I would just encourage if folks have feedback, I'm available here on Instagram. You can also reach me on Twitter at rhoge. Feel free to reach out if you've got comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on things we're doing well, things we're not doing so well. we're here to serve the collectors. I mean, we want to make products and services that make people happy, brings them enjoyment, and meets their needs. And so I'm just trying to be a good steward of the brand and the thing that's been running since 1991.
Awesome. All right. Thank you for joining us. PSAcard.com, everybody. Got some great stuff going on for 2023 with PSA grading. Thank you for joining us, Ryan. Have a great weekend, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all.
The Crossover. Join the chat and participate live on The Crossover every Friday night on Instagram. The Crossover. Don't miss it.